Hey folks, Mike Dawkins from Worldcast Anglers with your Jackson Hole weekend fly fishing forecast for the weekend of October 3rd and 4th. The first weekend in October. It should be cool, it should be overcast, it should be rainy, but we're still experiencing some pretty bright, sunny, dry days. Hey, none of us are complaining. We will pay for it in December, January, February, March, April, and May. So if it's going to stay like this, we welcome it for a little bit with open arms. Our 10-day forecast looks a lot more like this. Days in the high 60s, low 70s, sunny, warm, cool nights that are starting to cool off some of our water temperatures. We've got our aspens changing up around 9,000 feet, so fall is definitely in the air here in Teton Valley and Jackson Hole. It's still a very busy place considering everything that's going on in the world right now. Lots of fishermen out, lots of vacationers still in town. You know, feels more like summer and than sort of that down time in fall that we normally see this time of year. So expect some things to still stay, you know, somewhat busy here for the next couple weeks until the weather gets really crummy. It's our final weekend of our fly sale. $1 dries, $1 nymphs, $1 foam flies. We've also got 50% off the streamers. Our sale rack 60% off. This is the final weekend. It ends on Sunday. So definitely take that time, stock up, get ready for fall with the streamer fishing bite that's getting pretty good on the South Fork of the Snake and whatnot, or do some early Christmas shopping. We've got some great deals in the fly shop, so don't miss out. Nothing much of change from our fishing forecast last week. The things to note is we're starting to see water managers start to draw back some of our discharges in some of our area dams and whatnot to sort of conserve water in some of our reservoirs. Everything else is pretty much on par from what we talked about last week. South Fork of the Snake, 6,070 CFS being discharged from Palisades Dam, 6,510 CFS there in the lower river. It's pretty same as last week. It's hot, it's bright, it's sunny, it's dry. Look for your best streamer fishing to be during those sort of low light periods. Nymphing has been really productive on the South Fork lately with rubber legs, small pheasant tails, Baetis imitations, zebra midges, things along those lines. The Baetis and the mahoganies are still out and about. We're seeing those on like that 10 a.m. to 2, sometimes like sticking around until 4, but it's still been pretty hot and bright, so our dry fly fishing hasn't been that spectacular lately. I wouldn't get rid of the terrestrials out of my fly box either. I'd still fish some hopper droppers, some ants, some beetles, and some things that are still kicking around. The snake, as I was discussing, now winter flows, 293 CFS coming out of Jackson Lake Dam, 2,270 CFS there in the lower river. Water managers drew down the snake. Last week they were around 1,200 something CFS, 900 something CFS. Now we're sitting at around 280, looking at that for winter flow going into the next 4 to 5 months of the winter season. The snake has still been fishing really well. Snake drakes, Baetis, mahoganies, leftover terrestrials. Streamer fishing has been pretty good. Now's the time to sort of, pick and choose some good sections of the snake with some shorter float periods. With those lower flows, it's going to take you a long time to get through some of that water that you normally would in the summertime. But the snake is not to miss this fall fly fishing season, and it is fishing in its true fall fishing form. The Henry's Fork, 290 CFS being discharged up there in the Box Canyon, 867 CFS there in the lower river around Ashton. We saw subsequently some water drawdown on the Henry's Fork as well, but the Henry's Fork's still been fishing stellar. The Box Canyon has been great with nymphing. It's been great with your leftover dry dropper fishing. A lot of those fish that get spread out in the Box Canyon get slotted in this time of year, and they're a little bit more approachable. So definitely don't remove the Box Canyon out of your fall fishing list. The ranch has still been really good with mahoganies, and some leftover terrestrials, and then the Baetis fishing on some of those cloudy, overcast days that we had like last week were spectacular. So if you're into the head hunting game, I'd head up to the ranch right now. The lower river, it's still kicking back on. Warm River to Ashton, Ora, Vernon, Chester, all of those have been fishing pretty darn well. Be ready for some weeds and some leftover sort of weed beds letting loose with these cooler water temps and things like that that can be a little bit frustrating, but the fishing can be really spectacular, you know, with your mahoganies, your betas, you know, some leftover, you know, caddis and things along those lines can be really good this time of year. The nymphing can be good, and the streamer fishing can be good too. So look for that lower Henry's Fork to come back into play, especially as we progress later into the month of August. The Teton up here in the valley, 226 CFS up there around Driggs, 468 CFS there on the lower river. So just to recap, we've got the Teton, the Henry's Fork, and the Snake all sitting there in that sub, you know, mid to 200 CFS range, where we'll probably see them sit there for the rest of the fall season and winter, but it's very similar looking, you know, 20,000 feet down. The Teton, it's been fishing well. It's low, it's clear, fish are spooky. They've seen everything this summer, so be ready with long leaders, light tippets, small CDC patterns. I like the Last Chance Cripple Betas. I like the Last Chance Cripple Green Drake and Gray Drake for the Hecubas that we still have out and about. Some of your mahoganies like a Parachute Pheasant Tail, things along those lines have been really good, and the streamer bite should only get better as we get further into the month of October with some cloudy, overcast weather. So really nothing much new to report except for those big flow changes on the Snake. So be aware if you're going to float somewhere in the park, Wilson to South Park, or some of the longer stretches on the lower river, they're going to take you a lot more time than they did, you know, a week and a half ago. So just be aware. Definitely stop by, check out our Fly Shop sale. Our Fly Shop is open 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Sundays. Stop in, say hey, stock up from our fly sale. We appreciate your business and everybody's business this summer. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great weekend out there on the water, and we'll see you here next week.